Welcome to part 2 of our special episode with Danielle Dry of Not Just Travel, as we look at the unique benefits of P&O cruises pre-registration. So you've sold P&O cruises for many, many years for the launch period. And we've touched on a little bit about kind of what happens in that build-up of it. But because you come from a retail background, being on a shop floor during this launch period, what's it like on that launch day for you guys?
Oh, wow. We would get in at 7 a.m. in the morning. We'd have our breakfast and our brews ready to go. We'd have our list of all our customers who were waiting, anticipating and waiting for this launch window. And I would be ready to go in all my stores. I had multiple stores, as you know, Jason, across, Manchester and Merseyside. And we were all good to go. We're just as passionate about it as our customers were. And we'd be good, ready and jumping on the booking system, finding out, and when you match what your customer wants, the cabin's there, the itineraries there, the price is still available at that keen pricing before it goes to fluid, and we're good. And with the excitement with the customers and the stores and the staff, getting them bookings secured, there's no better feeling. We just love it, and it's a massive date in the travel industry calendar. I am super passionate, as you can probably tell, from an agent point of view, but also from I loved getting my customers exactly what they wanted, and they were just as delighted as I was. And we worked together, we were on the phones, and just securing them, locking in them prices, them cabins. I've got you that cabin, or we sometimes we wouldn't get that cabin. So again, having to say, I've got next door or the one opposite, how's that? And they'd be like, right, let's get it before it goes. So, and I can really, truly say, it isn't hype, it is real. I've seen the cabins go right in front of my very eyes,
Yeah.
So the demand on launch morning is just incredible. So if you know what you want and you're watching this now, reach out and get ahead, get that advanced registration in, and let Jason tell you more about that.
Yeah, it's something when you talk to clients about it for the first time, if they've never benefited from it, they're like, oh yeah, it's okay. No, I'll do it another time. It's fine. I'm used to hype. We book lots of holidays and we hear hype all the time, and it's fine. But you'll find somebody who's actually benefited from it before, and they're so in tune with it. They know it. They get it. It's like, yes, I have to be here these times. It's such like an hour and a half in the morning on that launch day to book in all of the bookings. It's freaking insane, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
really, really
so
busy,
exciting.
manic time, which is why you get in so early with your coffees and all had a good breakfast. But you have to go through it first once to understand. And then customers come back and they're then chasing you up afterwards and say, right, when's does launch day come in? Because, I want to get it in, I want to get it booked. So, it's a fantastic time of year. It's really, really good.
Now my group chat is waiting, anticipating for me to take the lead once them pricing grids are out, and once we can share all the information, we're good to go. We're looking at Italy and Croatia itinerary this year, so I'm just waiting. And, the buzz has already started in our group chat. We've advanced registered and we have got our deposits ready to go. And, I am one of them customers that has benefited year after year in launch, and my family, because I've educated them, and shared it with them. Right, we need to book. And they're like, why? And I'm like, you don't want to miss these prices, the availability. And then they're now all pushing me, when's it coming, what's the date, and actually a couple of years ago, we locked in Iona, the Norwegian Fjords, which is just fantastic. Honestly, if anyone's thinking about doing the fjords, Iona is built for the fjords. She is just beautiful, one of the newer ships in the fleet, and one of my favorites, to be fair. And what a way to see the fjords sailing down and that scenery. I had a balcony cabin, but we managed to lock that in at launch. We put a small deposit on it, and we always set up a direct debit. So, because this is our extra holiday, it's not just, we do our normal holidays with our families and partners, but this is a one we do as a group. So it's like an extra holiday, if you like. So we put it on a direct debit, and I can tell you now, I think we paid something like £800 per person. We locked it in, we paid the deposit, and it's about £30 per month because of the 2 year, 24 months in advance. We
Yeah.
just forgot about it. That was it. It was good. And then when it comes round, we're like, wow, I'm so glad we did that. You know what? It's like an extra holiday for us. We just love it. So honestly, like, it's just the best time to book is at launch. And from a customer perspective, the benefits are so high, but also, from personal being an agent and get my customers booked from a customer point of view, honestly, it really is the time to book.
Yeah. So we've mentioned the rooms,
Hmm.
the cabins, sorry.
Cabins.
So we mentioned the cabins and the importance of them. And I guess lots of people, if there's a couple going, they're quite flexible where they can stay, aren't they? They can stay in a balcony room, they can stay inside room, and you'll have your
Yep.
preference about, especially fjords, right? You want to get a balcony, don't
Oh,
you, on the fjords
absolutely.
and Caribbean and those places. You want to get that view and wake up in the morning with your nice cup of coffee and just chill on a balcony, and you absolutely want to do those things. And some people are not so precious and they don't mind staying anywhere, and they can stay inside because they spend all the time out on a ship. But when it really comes into play, you've already touched on it earlier when you said about the accessibility cabins.
Hmm.
But you've also got, if you want some cabins together, so you might have a large family, you might have six of you in a family, you might have four kids, for example, and you've got to spread over a couple of cabins.
Yeah.
Then getting those side by side makes a massive difference. There's lots of little uniquenesses that appeal to lots of people, and they don't know about it until they now can't go on a cruise because they couldn't get what they needed, or they missed out on those cabins. So,
Yeah.
so for those people who are going in large groups, they want to be together, they have accessibility requirements. Anything that's specific, anything that they need a certain type of room for a certain reason, then this is actually the best time to book, because you will get one of those rooms available. You absolutely will. But if you leave it month down the line, especially accessibility rooms, because they can just vanish so fast. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really important time to secure it in if there's anything kind of unique about your booking and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
booking through an agent, Jace, as well, because if you're doing it online, you can't request them things, you can't navigate that as easily. Whereas if you're booking through an agent like yourself or me in the past, we can l- get interconnecting cabins. We can tell you where about they are on the ship. We can, how many. We can actually see the full visibility of the ship, so we can see, how many adapted cabins are left, and where's close to the lifts. It's so much easier for us to support you with them. Exact things, if you want an exact location, it's hard to navigate, what cabin numbers mean what, it can be a minefield. So it's so
yeah,
important that you use, your agent for this, because we can make it so much simpler. And I know my friends who book through me, who've got, like, as I say, one's wheelchair accessible, so she always struggled in her past holidays, getting those things sorted. So absolutely book if you've got something specific, or you just want, two cabins together, or the same decks, or there's a group like mine and you all want to be similar place, book early.
yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned, or we've mentioned a couple of times now about price, and it's the most cost-effective time to book. But one of the other key things about P&O that I find is actually once you're on board and you're all booked, the prices are so good on board as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
They now do as well drinks packages. And they done drinks packages for lots of years, but if you haven't sailed with them recently, of the last couple of years, you've been able to buy that in advance, whereas previously you couldn't. And now they've improved that offering even more again now for this year. So you can actually get everything taken care of in advance. But even if you don't do that, the cost of the drinks on board, they're some of the best priced drinks on a cruise ship anywhere, I think. Any line I've come across, they're like standard, not far off high street prices, aren't they? They're really close.
Absolutely. It's cheaper than like your city centre bars and things, and restaurants.
Yeah,
It really is value for money on board. We take advantage of I've always took advantage of the drinks package, that we've always done the deluxe one, because, I don't want to be limited to what I can and can't have on board. And I can tell you, honestly, there's not one drink that I've been refused, or they haven't been able to accommodate. It's just, fantastic. Now they've got the new all-inclusive option, so it gives you even more than like the deluxe package, which I've always done, and I've always pre-booked it in advance when it came bookable before you go. And we saved on that. It was actually, I think it was something like 20% saving before we went if we booked it before we got on board. But also you can book it on board as well for the drinks package. I know some of them didn't book it in my group, and then they decided to do when they were on board, which they should have booked before because they got a saving. But I think it's so, like you said, if you're not a big drinker, or you don't drink, and one of you in the cabin does, and it's so affordable on board. It's not high prices. It's cheaper than your local city centre bars and things. It's really affordable. And yeah, the service as well, the bar staff, I come home and I'm like, what? I put my card in there and no one comes. You get to know the staff, they get to know you. You end up with your own personal barman and waiter, because they just are amazing. And the drinks package, as I said, for me, it's a massive benefit. We've always took it because I want to get on and know what price I'm paying when I get off. I don't want no hidden big charges or bar bills or whatnot. But you can just pay as you go on board, but you can settle up each day. You can check on your screen each morning how much you've spent. It's so easy to manage. There's no panicking about money or budgeting or anything like that while you're on board. But I would say definitely look into adding the all-inclusive on, or the drinks package, because for me, even without drinking a lot of alcohol, it's still worth it. Your Costa coffees, them nice drinks like during the day, mocktails and things as well. Absolutely beneficial for me anyway, personally. That's my opinion.
Well, my experience of my first cruise, we just did, when me and Kel going to travel, just tried on a local one over across to France for a few days. And we didn't take out the drinks package. And we got on board about 4 o'clock. We had Southampton, it was a Southampton cruise, obviously departing there. It was on gridlock for that day. They had, I think, 4 ships in and out, but they also had to close the port down because there was some issues. So anyway, we got on there quite late. So after 4 o'clock, when we got on a cruise line, we went and did our safety check-ins. We went and did all those other parts of it. Got into our cabin. We came downstairs. We started getting some drinks. We didn't have we like our cocktails and some nice drinks, and we didn't have the package. So when we got back, we retired about 2 a.m. I think it was in the morning, and we thought, we'll just log on TV and have a little look. And we spent $280 on our first few hours on the bar bill. I'm like, crikey, like we can't keep doing that like every night. But it didn't seem like we were really smashing it in. We were just kind of leisurely drinking. We were walking on the ship and going to different bars and stuff. We weren't really excessive over it. It wasn't on P&O, it was on another line. Mm-hmm. But the affordability things on board, they do add up pretty quick. So if you do like a drink, get a drinks package. It's always worth it, in my opinion, if you do like it. If you drink occasionally, then P&O's your best friend because they're just so cost effective on board. Yeah.
Absolutely agree. And I have done it when I went on Azura for the first time. Drinks package then wasn't an option. And it was a few years ago now, but me and my friend went. It was just a girly week, four-nighter, just to try it. And we sailed out to Southampton and went just round Bruges. And we paid, but you know what? Like, we settled up each morning just to keep on track of what we'd spent, and the average day, and we did have a couple of cocktails. We had late evenings, drinks with dinner, soft drinks even, and it was about £60 each a day. So with that in mind, I don't think that's bad at all, considering what you guys spend in dollars, and we did drink, in a few hours. So I don't think that's bad. So that shows you, it's really good value on board. But actually, the drinks package is probably averages a little bit cheaper than that per day. So definitely, I would definitely, something I would add. I think it adds to the experience. You've got not carrying no cash, You've just got your card, which is linked to your cabin, and you just give it to your waiter, and it just shows on there. And it's interesting to have a little look at your bill each morning to see what you've actually drank and where you was, and piece your night back together by which bars you were in. All part of the cruise fun.
Exactly. Yes, it is. Yeah. So, with all of your extensive experience in cruising, now, which is your favourite itinerary to go and do around P&O?
Oh, so which itineraries? Do you know what? I would have to say the Norwegian Fjords was top of my list. And just another reason to book at launch. The Fjords itineraries in the peak dates sell out fast.
Yeah,
So I went in April, the end of April. It was perfect for us. It was sun, bright sun, nice t-shirt weather, but it still had them snow-capped mountains. So the best, views. Like you said before, I had a balcony cabin. I was on Iona, which is built for the fjord. So you've got the glass um, middle section of the ship where you can literally, as you sail in, you're at land level with glass. So the views as you go along is just unbelievable. And we visited the ports of Olden and Stavanger. And honestly, the communities, as you pull in, they're there waving flags. They welcome in the British ships. Like P&O they're all using P&O and British flags. It's just gorgeous. They're like little chocolate box houses, and I just fell in love with Norway. And I'll be really honest, I wasn't looking forward to it. We booked it before COVID. It was cancelled, and then it got moved on to the year later. So it was all a bit. And actually, I'm a sun worshipper, so I was like, oh, it's going to be a very different holiday for me. But actually, that is up there, one of my top cruises, and especially Iona, the ship is beautiful. She's, as I said earlier, newer to the fleet. She's just fabulous. So yeah, that's probably one of my top ones. But a top tip, they do sell out on certain dates fast. And yeah, and last year I would say close second is Azura. She's an older ship, but she's had a refurb. And we were lucky enough to do we started in Valletta in Malta. Now, if you've not been to Valletta in Malta, it's just stunning. I would do it as a city break as well. It's just beautiful. We flew out, and the P&O flights are fantastic as well because they're chartered just for them sailing. So we flew out to Manchester, paid the supplement with P&O to fly out to Manchester. It was all easy. Our bags we didn't see till we got to the ship, which again, massive bonus of booking your package through an agent and through P&O, because our flights were booked from Manchester. We didn't see the luggage till it was outside our cabin. We sailed from Malta and we done the Greek Isles, Crete, Mykonos. Just incredible. We done that in June, so the weather was on our side. And you know what I love? The best bit is we all get off and do different visits and different tours, and my mum and my aunties book something they want to go and see, and the younger ones like myself we go and do, we've done a little beach club in Crete, we all, it's at our own leisure. We all book different things, and then we come back on the ship in the evening and discuss what we all did, what we loved, and then we have a dinner and do a show and stuff like that. So yeah, they're me too. I know you only asked for one, but I'm so passionate and I love it because I love it. And they were probably two favourite ships, but also two favourite itineraries. So, but them itineraries, especially the Mykonos and the Norwegian Fjord, they sell out. They really do. They're sought after dates and peak dates and peak itineraries as well. And
so sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and every year, my group gets bigger. Friends and family watch our videos, hear about what we've been up to, and they just come with us, and everyone's like, at launch, Dan, here's my deposit. I want to come this year, so there you go.
The Norwegian Fjords itinerary as well, because you say it's one of your favourite. It's actually one of the most cost effective as well, isn't it? Because it's a UK departure, so you haven't got any flights to get on. So if you're a bit nervous with flying, fantastic option for you. It's nice and easy to get to. Just get on Southampton and off you go again. So it's cost effective. But you've also said about how much they kind of book up on peak dates. So when I first started selling P&O several years ago, I'd log on and somebody say, want to go for summer. Yeah, okay, so I'll log on and have a look. And there's no gaps on any of the ship sailings, on any itineraries. Everything's full on waitlisted. So P&O offer like a waitlisting service. So if somebody drops out, then you'll be next in line. They kind of invite you onto the cruise. But it's rammed the whole time, every summer. and getting a cabin on there is very, very difficult. And ultimately, you'll end up with a non-favourable cabin. You'll end up with one that might be restricted in view, or some of those natures, which you don't want to do on those types of itineraries. But you can never know if you're going to get that cabin either, because it'll be guaranteed, so you never know where you end up. So it's absolutely best to get in ahead of time. And out of all of the sailings that I see when I log on to portals and private quotations, I think P&O is consistently always sold out throughout those summer months, on the big itineraries that they do. Always sold out.
And just to touch on that, Jace, about the Southampton sailing, you know, you can probably tell from my accent that I'm from Liverpool. So Southampton, you know, seems far away, but actually we took the option, the benefit of booking early, which P&O launched at the launch when I booked for that particular sailing, which was the free coach option. So they offered, I don't know whether, I mean, we're hoping, you know, they offer these type of things for this launch, but it was an option to take advantage of their free coach that was on at the time. So the coach picked us up from city centre Liverpool, and off we went down to Southampton. And you know what? We settled in, we had fun on the coach, and it was brilliant. We started our holiday on that coach. You know, we made friends on there who were actually going to be on the same sailing. It was just fantastic, and we took that coach option. So, you know, if it isn't an option as a benefit, and you can get it free, you can still add it on. And it's really, you know, worth it. We didn't have to drive, get trains. No one was, you know, worrying about parking at the port or anything like that. And it was so simple. And because we were all together on the coach, we started our holiday from that moment in Liverpool. So I would say, you know, take that option if it's there as well, if you don't want to drive, or you know, you're worrying about getting to Southampton, because they do local pickups. We can get that added on for you as well, and we add that as a massive benefit as well.
I bet you had your own coach, didn't you lot?
We pretty much fill the coach, yeah.
So you've said that there's now up to 60 of you going?
Absolutely, yeah. 60, multi-generational, from 14-year-old niece, it's all women, so poor P&O, right up to my aunties and my mum, who were in their early 70s, and me and my sisters in between, all our friends. And the group has just got bigger year on year because of our personal experience. You know, obviously we come home, we share our photographs, we talk to friends and family about it, and everyone's like, I am coming next time, I want to do it. And none of them, it's just got bigger. No one's dropped out, and everyone's just, you know, joined. It's getting bigger and better. And we don't book as one big group. I just give them all the information, and then they all book through us with and look after their own booking. And as I say, you know, the direct debit for us personally, because it's an extra holiday, it's not our only holiday, we want to just balance it out affordability wise. We book at launch, we put that deposit on, and we spread the cost, which we take advantage of that interest-free direct debit option, which is just another bonus, another benefit.
I think it's amazing that all your girls go away, but what do the men do?
Are they
not allowed or something?
Well, it just started as a girly trip, and then it just evolved, and then now it's, you know, to be fair, lots of us have split off and then booked the similar itinerary or a different ship with our partners and families as well. So we got back from the Malta and Greece one, and my sister loved it that much and went on about it that much to her husbands and the other children, the boys, that she ended up booking it for 2 weeks later. She managed to get it. She didn't get the cabin she wanted or whatever, because she booked it last minute. She paid a lot more than what we did, but she got it, and they went on the sailing absolutely again the same waiters. They were like waving. But she took her husband, who again, he absolutely loved it, and so did the older teenage boys as well. So yeah, so we do P&O in our own things as well, you know, as well as the girly one. But the men do some golf trips and things, so we don't feel sorry for them.
That's right, as long as they've been looking after them. So then, for somebody who's thinking about it, and they either have cruised and they've cruised other cruise lines, or they haven't cruised, and they're thinking, you know, what shall I do? Do I need to do anything now? Kind of, what would you say to them?
I would say reach out, you know, advance registration, show your interest, get the information, and don't hold back. I would definitely say, get it booked. If you are unsure about P&O, reach out to Jason, an agent, and and find out what you want from the cruise line, what you want from the itinerary, and we can help you match that to the right ship. Because within the fleet, there's different ships. There's adult-only ships, there's smaller ships, there's bigger ships. So there's a ship in the fleet for absolutely everyone and everyone's needs. So we can help match you and what you want from your cruise experience and your holiday to the right ship, the right itinerary, and as you said, there's non-sail itineraries out to Southampton if that's something you'd be interested in. And then we've also got your fly cruises as well. So, reach out. Even if you've sailed on other cruise lines and it maybe what wasn't right, don't let that affect your experience. Try P&O, because I have sailed on lots of other cruise lines, loads, and P&O is still one of my favourites for different reasons. I have different favourites for different type of things I want to do, but actually it is a really great, and I touched on it earlier, it's really great for that new to cruise. If you've never cruised before, but you've always thought about it or you're unsure, it's a great price point to start to. And I really do feel like you would love it. So I would say, what are you waiting for? Launch is the time to book. Reach out to Jason and ask about the ships, the itineraries. Let's find something that matches your needs perfectly. The cabins you want, the dates you need, and get it booked in. Get that deposit on it. You've got 24 months. If it's from now to pay it off. It's just, it's a no-brainer. It's booked, it's sorted, and it's something for you to look forward to. And it's just, absolutely, I can't recommend it enough from an experience of with 28 years in the industry, from the actual feedback from customers, the customer experience, the repeat booking, high retention rate. That says a lot about the service, the standards, how P&O are as a cruise line and a product. So yeah, I would definitely, from both sides, customer and industry, I would say give it a try.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, get it booked.
So we've got a lot of meetings kind of lined up now, and I got one client, and I don't know if we can look after them this year or not, because they want something very specific, and they hate flying. They don't fly anywhere, so all I consider is the UK sailings.
Mm.
But they did this year. I think they're running a transatlantic, going over and then up towards Canada way and back down again, and then coming back across again. So they want to do that as a full run round. But they're not offering it next year. So I don't know if it's going to be on for the following year or not for 2028. So we can't wait to get that information tomorrow and find out, is it something we can do? Come on, I want to get it over the line for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Anticipate. Like, the anticipation is real for these itineraries and these prices, from your customer point of view, from my family's point of view. We're like, is there a nice Italy itinerary we've not done, or a Croatia? Because that's what we're looking for. And does it fit in with us? And if it does, we're there, we're booked. We just cannot wait. So yeah, and hopefully you get that itinerary that you want. But again, stay close, advance register would be my advice to customers who've never done this before. Share ask your questions now, give your dates in, find out, so you're ready for us to come back to you when we've got this information that we can share, and then you're good to go to make a decision and act fast in that booking window when then prices are locked in.
Yeah. So the way it's going to work for people, just so they understand, is tomorrow is going to be the 21st. So this is obviously going out in 2026 currently now. So we are now in April 26th. Tomorrow on the 21st, they're going to be having their kind of closed door meeting with all the kind of specialist agents who are kind of allowed in the room. They're going to brief all the itineraries, brief the pricing grids, all the new things coming out, what the special offers are, all these details to take away. We'll then have, from that moment until the 27th is a last pre-registration date, I believe. And then the 28th of the morning, we log on and start making the bookings. And You'll have the 28th will be for the Peninsula Club members. who have cruised lots of loyalty kind of rewards for those guys. The following day, then on the 29th, will then be the standard kind of cruising offer to everybody, and then the following day, then everything's on sale to everybody all the time, and all that fluid pricing's kicked in. So we only have an hour on both of those mornings to be able to, or 2 hours, I think it is, isn't it? On both those mornings to be able to book everything in, get them all launched, and grab and secure those cabins before somebody else does. And it is a manic run around. So basically, from tomorrow morning until from the 21st until the 27th, we have all the conversations with customers. So we'll have all the information to hand. We can give them what the prices are going to be. We can tell them what deposits are going to look like. We can tell them what the flight availability is. We can give them all this information. And then live, they'll pay a deposit. So they'll say, yes, that's what I want to do. They'll pay us a deposit. And then we'll log on 8 a.m., boom, boom, logging away to get all those bookings secured. We'll usually have a range of cabins as a backup option available. So if that one isn't available, we can hop straight onto the next one because we don't want to miss out another opportunity, another one. So we'll get all that information lined up in our previous conversations once we have the itineraries and everything going. And it'll be booked. If we can't find it, if it doesn't match up what they want, then they can obviously get that deposit back if they don't want to choose something else. But we've basically got this next week now. This is a busy week. It's a intense time of getting all the conversations back and forth. So if you're thinking about it, if you're not sure, just drop us a message, DM us, call us, get hold of us any way you can. Just make sure you get in contact so we can have the more time we have to discuss itineraries with you and to be able to see what's available, what's going to fit with your dates and all these different itineraries that are going on throughout the summer. The easier it's going to be for us to secure what you want. So that's how the time frame works. Starting tomorrow is going to start to get very busy. We also have another huge launch going on at the same time as well, but that's going to be a separate kind of conversation for now. But it's a busy time. So make sure you get in contact if you want to secure it at the best rates on the best itineraries that you've been thinking about for a while and you think, I'd love to go and do that Greek sailing. Maybe you want to go and do the fjords. The Caribbean and winter programs aren't being released now, so they're going to be released afterwards, the end of the year, well, towards the end of the year, after summertime. But any of the summer itineraries, now is absolutely the time. And I haven't even decided which one I'm going to book yet, because I'm going to book one. I don't know what. I haven't got a clue, because we've got so much booked up this year already, and we shouldn't be booking anything else up. But you can't let it go by, can you? You can't let it go. It's such a good time. So, yeah, thank you, Danielle, for joining us today. You've been absolutely amazing again. Loads of really useful information, as ever, which is every single call I have with you, every time. So thank you for all of your support that you offer all the time, and thanks for sharing all your information with everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed today's call. Absolutely
welcome. Guys, you have my details. You can DM me on Facebook. On WhatsApp is 07940 783366. You can find our landline 02921 661507, and I'll put it in the captions. And there's links everywhere. Just Google Bullies Travel and you'll find us. There's lots of links all over the place. So get in contact. Let's have the conversation nice and quick, and let's get this booked for you. Thanks for joining us, and bye for now.